But the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, "It is not lawful to put them back into the treasure, because they are the price of blood." And they consulted together and brought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Therefore, that field has been called the field of blood to this day. We're going to use for a brief subject concerning issues. That subject is, I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe you anything. I don't have to go above and beyond. I don't have to bend over backwards. I don't have to give you my last. I don't have to sell what I got. I don't owe you nothing. When you look at this particular story, church, concerning what we're going to learn for a few moments, this is the story concerning Judas. After his betrayal to Jesus, when he betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, I mind you that same concept is being used today. There are so many Christians, because of their issues, are selling Jesus out for just a few pennies, or a few situations, or a few issues. In other words, because we're dealing with something, we think that we have enough to pay to cause us to sell Jesus out because of our issues. In other words, some of us can't even really get our praise on because we're dealing with stuff on the inside. Some of us can't even be what God would have us to be. Not only that, some of us can't even be what we need to be in life, in our homes, on our job, in the church. We can't even be what we need to be or what we're striving to be because we're dealing with our issues. In this particular text, when you look at verse number 3, the Bible says Judas, the betrayer, seeing that he had condemned, was remorseful and brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priest and elders, saying, I have sinned by betraying innocent blood. Here, first of all, I can respect Judas for trying to go back and fix something he messed up. How many of us have even taken the initiative to go back and fix something that we have messed up? See, our problem as Christians is that we don't like to own up to anything. Our problem as Christians is that when we mess up, we feel like that I don't owe you nothing. Look, accept it for what it is. It is what it is. So therefore, you go on with your life and I go on with mine. That to me is a problem, church, because just because you are dealing with an issue, don't make me pay for something that you wasn't willing to pay for. And a lot of times it damages the relationship, even in the church, because you have broken Christians, you have hurting Christians that won't even go back and say, I'm sorry. Well, here's the thing. Some of us don't even know how to go back and say, I'm sorry. Because, see, forgiveness don't start with the person. Forgiveness starts with yourself. And a lot of times we tend to surpass the fact that we also have messed up. We also have done things. And we also have hurt people to where we are fixated on what somebody else has done to us. So now you are a emotional wreck because you're dealing with your self-conscious. And not only your self-conscious, now you have become self-righteous to the point that you can't even see your wrong because you're too busy looking at somebody else. Judas didn't care about what nobody else did. He went back to try to fix something that he had messed up. In other words, the Bible says he was condemned, meaning that he became very guilty, convicted, enough to say, look, man, I done messed up. Let me go back and fix this up. But watch this. Saying I have sinned by betraying innocent blood. And they said, what is it that to us you see to it? See, a lot of us feel that we can't go say, I'm sorry, try to fix anything because we got in our minds, they're not going to accept our apology no way. We got it in our heart. they're not going to accept me for who I am now that I have. It's been some years that have gone by, and now I'm ready to own up to what went on. So we'll make the excuse is, well, I tried to call you and you didn't answer, or I tried to text you and you didn't respond, or I saw you at church and I spoke to you. That's not fixing the issue. Because, see, here's the fact of the matter is, you have an issue and they have an issue. See, the priest had an issue, okay? They had an issue within themselves because, first of all, their minds were not on doing the right thing because they gave Judas the permission, okay, to go and do a thing that would bring our Lord and Savior to the cross. Therefore, they try to put their issues out on Judas by saying it ain't got nothing to do with us no more. And see, that's a lot of times that's our problem. We like to put the blame on somebody else for something that we have done. And then what happens is we'll live our lives and feeling like we got the upper hand on somebody, or we feel like you owe us something to where we'll live like that. But all along, you haven't figured out why you're not progressing in life. That's why people that are stubborn, people that have a quick temper, if you notice how they really act towards people, it's because it ain't got nothing necessarily to do with you. It's because they got some issues with themselves. They haven't come to realize that until I deal with my issues, I'm too stubborn to be submissive enough to try to get some help to help you deal with yours. Watch this. Verse 5 says, then he threw down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hung himself. There has been some Christians that are still hanging from the tree. There are some Christians that have thrown down. They felt like just because I'm not in their relationship no more, just because mama don't speak to me or daddy don't have nothing to do with me, or my uncle did this to me, or my aunt said that to me, or I'm dealing with this, or I'm dealing with that, they'll throw in the towel. They'll throw it in, and they'll go and hang themselves. And see, Judas felt like he had a reason to go and hang himself because just because somebody didn't accept his apology, he committed suicide. You got some Christians that have committed suicide just because you waiting on somebody to give you something. That's why the topic is, I don't owe you nothing. You have to understand something. The only person you owe something to is God, first of all. If you have tried to go and make something right with somebody, and you really have tried to make it right, see, first of all, make it right with God. See, Judas, he repented, but he repented out of self-conscious because he was condemned with guilt. See, a lot of folks just say, I'm sorry just because they feel sorry. They ain't really sorry. They not. That's why they go and do the same thing, and then they get up to church, pray for me, I'm still working on something. You ever heard somebody say that? Yes, you have, because you done said it. Just look over me because I'm still dealing with myself. Just look over me because I'm dealing with my attitude. I ain't there yet. That's the one they use. I'm not there yet. Well, where are you then? Where are you? Where are you at this point in time in your life? Because if you're not there yet, you won't find yourself hanging from a tree after a while. Because guilt would take control, and a lot of us are harboring guilt in our hearts. Watch this. Either from what you done did to somebody or what somebody has done to you. And you live your life acting as if somebody owes you something when they don't owe you nothing, or you live your life acting like you owe them something. You've been over backwards for them. You do this for them. They still hadn't changed. Judas, even though Judas was condemned, Judas didn't change. Don't miss this, church. See, Judas went and hung himself because the priest did not accept the money back into the altar. How many of us have tried to go and make something right? And because we tried to go and make it right, we feel worse than we did before we went and tried to make it right. Your issue, let me tell you something. Your issues will take you farther than where you want to go. People don't care nothing about hurting you. People don't care nothing about your feelings. People don't care nothing about your attitude and how low you feel and how degraded you feel and how belittled you feel. They don't care nothing about that. The priest did not care nothing about Judas' guilt. Who you owe something to. What Judas should have done is went to Jesus and repented. Because watch this. Stop going to folks trying to make stuff right when their hearts are all wrong. You're going to get a slap in the face. You're going to get a talk to the hand. You're going to get out my face. You're going to get a low feeling in the heart because you're trying to make something right with somebody who got just as much problems and issues as you. And then you find yourself getting spiritual suicide. That's why people fall out the wayside. That's why relationships don't work. That's why people don't come up and obey the gospel of Jesus Christ. And those that are obeying the gospel of Jesus Christ, watch this. Because they are obeying with a guilt conscience. They come into the church with issues. They sit in the pew in the church with issues. They give with issues. They pray with issues. They pray with issues. And they leave out that door with issues. And after a while, they commit suicide. You don't owe nobody nothing. You owe God. And if you're not willing to first render payback to God, because in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 it says, it's better for you to have not made a vow than you to make a vow and don't keep it. Don't worry about the folks on the other side. You fix your issue. I think that's my time. I tried to give you something short, quick, and to the point. Judas is a good example, church, of somebody who wanted to make it right, but because his heart was so broken and so guilty, he couldn't even do the right thing. And see, what happens is, let me tell you something, and I'm coming to a close. People can't handle rejection. If you're a person that loves to please people, Judas tried to please the priest, and when they said, we don't want it, guilt took control. He couldn't handle rejection. He couldn't handle rejection because all his life he was trying to live a life where he tried to fit in and be accepted. That's a whole other lesson. Preach, I'm going to leave that. That's a whole other lesson. I pray that we live a life to understand that we don't owe folks nothing. Now, don't get it twisted, man. I'm not saying that don't go apologize and try to make things right. I'm not saying that. But see, we have a misperception of what we owe people. We owe people because we feel sorry, we feel guilty. That's the wrong kind. That's the wrong kind of way to apologize and try to make things right. I pray that you guys receive what God has given you this afternoon. And anyone have any special prayer requests before we have a brief intermission? Anyone have any special prayer requests? Anything that's been on your heart that you feel guilty of? And it ain't got to necessarily do with anybody, because of the Lord. we need to be mindful of the situation. So let us pray at this time. Our Father, which art in heaven, Lord, we thank you for blessing us with your word. We thank you, dear Lord, for allowing us to understand, Lord, that we don't owe nobody nothing. Father, we don't owe no one anything but love. But Lord, we need to understand the vow that we have made to you when we obey the gospel of Jesus Christ. Father, we know that you know that we're going to fall short. But it's not about, Father, what we do when it happens. It's what we do after it happens. Determines, Father, the outcome. And Lord, we need you. We need you to heal our hearts. We need you to heal our minds. We need you to order our steps and give us the strength that we need, Lord, to be able to deal with our issues, that we may be able to help somebody else with it. We thank you. We love you. In Jesus Christ's name we do pray. Let us all together say amen. Please hug somebody. Tell them you love them as we prepare ourselves for the Lord's worship.